My name is Kamari Moyer. I currently live in Baltimore City, and after 15 years outside of the city, I'm back in Baltimore City. I grew up a city kid, so a lot of concrete, and then we went out to the suburbs, and I had a lot of trees, sort of like this. So it was really more bittersweet homecoming type of feeling. It didn't feel that different from what I remember as a kid. And my cousins, we went out to the country when we were little, so had a little bit of this growing up. This is maybe my third or fourth visit at this point. It was a lot of deliberation with the family before we even came down here. Like, how safe do you feel going back to not only a plantation, but like the plantation where your family was held? Did not feel good. Took a long time to get here. But coming as a family, it was like, this is important to come here. And everybody can't disappear at the same time. Somebody gonna hear about it if something goes wrong. So when we got here, it was a very warm reception, and I'm glad we came. As far as I know, Lawrence Johns, he's our family historian for the most part. He just dives into this information and makes connections for us. And the older I get, the more I understand how important those connections are. So shout out to Uncle Lonnie. Thanks to him for that. I think the way stories were told when I came here, talking about skilled laborers, people who are blacksmiths, people who are chefs, making food from scratch is not a microwave dinner. It's an incredible thing to think about. Just hearing everything that went into making this place run and understanding that my family was part of like building this place from scratch, literally brick by brick built this place. There's as much sadness as there is understanding that life was not easy, understanding there's a pride that they still made something that is still standing here. My grandma, on my mom's side, so my mom's mom, she's a big person on education. She always cared and still cares about, learning what you can and, representing yourself and representing your family as best you can. But definitely the pathway to that is like learning everything that you can. So that my uncle has like this deep knowledge when it comes to history and so many other things. And then being able to tap into some of that knowledge now, I think I definitely see that. Like we want to know, you know, hard stories, happy stories. We all are like, give me more. I need more. There's a oral tour or something. There's an audio tour here, and you can do an experience listening to what enslaved folks were going through, and there are voice actors embodying folks. There was a gentleman who he would work in the great house, and he would run away whenever he could. And when he was in the great house, he was supposed to be wearing this elaborate outfit, tails and all this stuff. And the story that they were talking about was one of these times when he was returned after he ran away, the white leads were hosting some dignitaries or something. And he came in the room with a dirty uniform and his tails out and stuff. Like, he didn't even have to say anything. He was just like, as much regard you have for me, here you are. Anytime you see that there's a lot of wealth, that's impressive, right? Like, oh, I see all this stuff. But it's how did they get that? Where did that wealth come from? That wealth was literally created by people who were enslaved here, and apparently people who were indentured here as well. So it's like, okay, telling the story of the people who made this valuable, made this place a place to host dignitaries, made it a place that's now, a site to return to. I think that's really important. And I also didn't really make the connection that, like, the ship, what I was told was the ship that brought folks here had like 82 folks or something originally that were bound for here being enslaved. And like 70 people actually got off the ship because 12 perished. So I appreciate being able to think about the ancestors who made it, those who went home sooner than others. They were like, this ain't it, and tapped out early. That's what I think about with the First Africans Day. Stories of folks that we won't even hear anything like their story, because I don't know, somewhere between their village and the boat, we don't know. We don't know anything else. So I appreciate that there is some recognition of folks and the folks who made it here.